Hello and welcome to episode 7 of The Company of the Grey Wolf. A company divided. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get through a few quick announcements before we get started. I'm sure you're wondering where all the other players are. Don't worry, they're here. Those of them that survived anyway. Firstly, since you're joining us here on Twitch, if you'd be interested in subscribing to our awesome channel, we have our own special reward systems lined up for each tier level of subscription. And that's on top of the rewards given to you by Twitch. We wanted to make this game a collaborative effort with you, our viewers, so please consider joining it at our following tiers. All subscribers get access to the Green Room, a channel in our Discord where you can talk to the cast and the show about the show privately, separately from all the other viewers, and you get to nominate the MVP for each week. Tier 1 also gets you access to the non-player characters channel, where you can influence the game by deciding the actions and outcomes of certain NPCs in the game. Tier 2 gives you even more power. You get to help me create new villains for the party and decide what those villains will do. And Tier 3 gives you ultimate power in our Deities and Demigods channel, where you get to help me decide the outcomes of big movers and shakers in the world, like kings and gods, decide the outcome of some of the ongoing subplots, the decisions of nations, and just help me plan future events in the world that will ultimately impact the party in big and small ways. So we'd really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to us. It's something that will help us continue to create this awesome content for you, and we want to make you feel as involved as possible. Speaking of our Discord is available for you to chat with the castmates and myself throughout the week. We'll get a link. You'll get a link in the chat room as well. It should appear if it hasn't already. We've been having a lot of fun with you guys outside of these episodes, making new friends, goofing around. We'd love to have you become part of the family with us. We're trying to create a community here beyond just creating good entertainment for you guys. So join us there in the Discord. We'd love to have you become part of it. And feel free to share your thoughts about the show. We'd love to hear them. Now, if you've missed any of our previous episodes and would like to get caught up, you can do so by going over to our YouTube channel, which is the same name as our Twitch channel. It's my name, Joshua Barbeau. Go over to YouTube, search Joshua Barbeau. Or I think if you search the Company of the Grey Wolf, it should come up as well. Right now on YouTube, all of the episodes up to episode 5 are present. Episode 6 is still on Twitch. You can still see episodes that air on Twitch for up to 2 weeks after they've aired, after which we move them over to the YouTube. Now, we get if, life is busy, we get it. If you want to get caught up but don't necessarily have 3 hours to dive into a previous episode when you only have so much time in a week, we got you covered there too. We have written recaps of our past episodes, which are provided by the lovely Rebecca, who's playing Celadine in our show. She writes them every week, and she's all caught up on our current episodes. So if you haven't gotten caught up yet, if you've missed some of the episodes, you haven't had time to watch them, you don't think you'll have time to watch them in the near future, you can go into our Discord channel and find the recap for that episode and read it in about 5-10 minutes, and you're all caught up. Now, if you like our character art, they were all commissioned by the wonderful Thickest Bay. That's Thickest_Bay. You can find her on Twitter. You should give her a follow because she's amazing. Send her some love. And last but not least, I also run a business called DM On Demand, where you can hire me to run a single or multiple chapter game, not unlike this one, just for you and your friends and family or whoever you want to play with. I do everything from just regular games to special events, birthday parties, weddings, whatever you like. If you're in the Greater Toronto area, I'll show up in person. If you're not, I do have the ability to do remote games over video conferencing as well. But that's enough announcements. As I said, I'm sure you're wondering where our players are. They're here. They're here. We're going to get to them in a moment. As you probably recall, last week ended with a bit of a bang. The party, weary from the recent encounters, was prepared to rest in Karse. However, unbeknownst to any of them, they had unleashed something. A small army of Faerûm, the ancient enemies of the Netherese, were revived by the same ritual that brought back Karsus. These Faerûm who feed on magic, had been drawn to Karsus when he cast his ultimate spell, like moths to a flame. And then they perished along with him when he died after casting his spell that ascended him temporarily to godhood. Now those Faerûm are all back, and they are, of course, laying waste to the city of Karse, with our friends in it. The company of the Grey Wolf scattered like roaches when you turn on the light. And some of them got out in time, but not all of them. Some of them did not get out in time. And it's about one of those that we're going to talk about first. Because before we talk about what happened after the Faerûm set ablaze the ruins of Karse, we're going to go back to just before that incident. Because I don't know if you know this, but right before you die, your life flashes before your eyes, and time, the flow of time seems to be flexible. And so we're going to reflect, just as our characters probably are doing, on the moments leading up to that destructive confrontation. You know, wondering if there's something else we could have done to avoid these fates. Gunther. You're climbing up the steps to a large black pyramid with your brother on the eastern edge of Karse. You're eating, both of you. Delicious.
Yeah.
Interesting group of friends you have.
Yeah, they are quite interesting. As a side note, remember that when we get in there, I'm hoping that when they captured Percy, the leader personally confiscated the spell book. I'm hoping it's in there. We're going to need this to do what we're going to do. Brother, you don't seem convinced about these people.
Well, they're Hundeschlagen.
Yeah.
Not convinced about any Unterschlagen.
I understand. Brother, you haven't lived amongst the Unterschlagen as I have. They're not as unpredictable as you seem to believe. Yeah, they're ruled by the emotions, this is true, but once you begin to understand the emotions and how these emotions influence the behavior, it's quite easy to manipulate.
Manipulate how?
Oh, take this group, for example. Capable, certainly, but unsure of themselves. They're insecure. At the moment, they believe they're weak because they are, individually. They need to band together, but they lack a reason to do so. And I believe, brother, You are this reason. They don't trust you right now. You must be aware of this. But they respect you. And at the moment, this is what they need more than trust. They need someone to protect them, someone to shepherd them. You yourself said that you're looking for more power. Well, they can provide you with this power, and they will willingly once they trust you. We have wizard, we have a sorcerer, we have a man who speaks to the god, we have a cleric. If you earn the trust, brother, they will give you what you need.
You might be right.
I believe I am. So it's a moment the club.
And what other choice do we have?
At the moment, brother, look at them. They're panicking. They're close to a breaking point. They're dejected. They're hopeless. And this is where we need them right now. Close to the edge, almost fractured, needing a reason to continue.
And you believe that we can give them one?
I believe we
that
can.
We can make turning to our homeland, rescuing our brood from this usurper, can be the very reason that they need to bind themselves together as a group.
You're forgetting about the Unterschlagen emotions, brother. Consider this. We bring them to the Großvater tree. There, once they arrive, they see a community. In this community, they see a reason, a meaning to bind together, the strength of numbers. But also, once we arrive there, they will see the problems that has befallen this community. They will want to help them. They will need to help them. Their emotions will cloud the judgment, and they will see a reason to come together. They will need to do this to give them what they themselves are missing. You lead them. You bring them to the witch in the swamp. You destroy them together, and they trust you even more. They see you as someone who has not just protected them, but who has given them purpose. Also, has the added benefit of removing the troubled witch from our temple.
Yes. Did bother me to see a temple with the markings of our kind used as a hut for that thing, desecrated by her presence. And yet, I couldn't kill her where she stood, because I thought I needed her help.
Fortunately, brother, I believe that we have it exactly where we wanted to. You see, I walked into that hut with my friend Zolkin. By all rights, she should have killed us. She had us alone, separated. She had all the power of surprise, and yet she didn't, which tells me she couldn't. We assumed she had all the power. Have you ever known a witch to let someone go without extracting something from them? I think she was afraid of us, more so than we were of her.
I don't think you're right. In fact, if I can offer you some advice, remember what you said to me when we stood outside Wilson's cave?
I do.
You told me he was using me. You told me that his offer seemed too good to be true, because it was.
Yeah?
You think this witch is afraid of us? I think she let us go without a bargain, because she's in league with the Beholder.
I absolutely believe she is. And this is why we need to return to her. See, this witch, she's trouble. She knows of you. She knows of me. She certainly knows of W. And I believe she will not hesitate to parlay this information against us. I was not in a position to eliminate her before, brother, but now we may be. We have a route back to her. We have a party of capable allies who will be willing to fight for us, who are looking for a reason to kill her, and the communities that will benefit from her death. We were not in position to kill her before, brother, but now we are.
You're right. Together, we are unstoppable.
I believe we are. She is a loose end, brother. She needs to be dealt with.
And just as you say this, you hear a loud screech you've heard once before across the skyline. And when you and your brother look up, you see an army of Faerun circling there.
Oh, shit.
But doing more than circling. They are flying in concentric circles, almost like in a pattern, as if they are coordinating their movements and working together to prepare for something big. But a couple of them, 2, maybe 3, don't have the patience. They're hungry. And those 3 stragglers, who aren't coordinating attack with the rest of them, dive down towards your friends. We are hopelessly outgunned, brother. We must get your friends and get out of Karse now.
I agree. The healer, the sorcerer sees his priorities.
All right. Then let's get them. And be quick before it's too late. Wait. And he turns back to the pyramid. Azazel had potions. Powerful potions that will help us.
I'm looking at the battlefield, and I'm calculating. I'm looking at the odds. I'm calculating how many Faerun are in the air.
About 24.
How quickly they're coming to the battlefield. And I'm realizing that whether my brother is with me on the battlefield or not, we're fucked. So instead of telling him, brother, things are lost, I need you to hide because your survival is the most important. Instead of saying that,
you know he won't listen to that.
I know he's not going to listen to that. I say, yeah, go inside, grab the potions, grab anything you find useful, and meet me on the battlefield. We gotta rescue them.
I will make haste. Be safe.
Yeah, I will see you soon. And I bolt onto the battlefield.
Rush down the steps of the pyramid. You race through the trees into the ruins proper. And there, you see all hell break loose. You're not sure where all your friends are, but the company has been divided. Over to one side, Rin battles an army of skeletons, his former compatriots, on land, while also fending off a Faerun by himself in the air. You don't see Odd. She's nowhere in sight, and yet you know she's near, for Rin would not be far without protecting her.
There's no way those two are separated. I cannot, internally, there's no way those two are separated. She's got to be close to him. He's protecting her. Next option.
The Dran and the wizard. And last you saw them, they were near the barracks. They are no longer, though the barracks is being attacked by a Faerun.
This barracks is under siege. It's across the entire battlefield. By the time I get there, the tower will be incinerated. Too far. Next option.
Right in front of you, you see Ondar. Manacled, just as you left him, but standing out of his cell and afraid. And with him is Celadine, who all on her own holds up a shield to deflect against the many attacks of one of these powerful creatures. She appears distraught. She's got her eyes on Ondar, darting between him and the Faerun. She's also looking about the battlefield, trying to locate all of her friends, and she can't find them. And you can see it's breaking her.
She's over her head. She can't do this alone. And as long as Onda is this, her attention is going to be divided. Onda needs to be removed from the battlefield. This is where I'm needed, but this is not a job for me. And as I see this, I start to transform and run faster with a singular certainty. I need to free up Celadine and separate her from Ondar. That's where I'm going.
Gunther recedes and Slaughterthos takes his place, and you rush in and check Celadine out of danger as you engage the Faerun. Celadine, still overwhelmed by what's going on, watches as Adron starts to run away from her. She shouts. Did I say someone else? Ondar.
Their name's it's not going to be a problem next episode. Half of them are dying.
Ondar starts to run away from her. She shouts. Ondar, stop, don't go. But he doesn't listen. He keeps running. You can see the conflict on her face. She's torn. She wants to chase after him. But she also is afraid. She doesn't want to leave you. She sees you as a source of strength. She's just met you the other day, and yet, right now, in this very instance, she's looking at you like you're the only thing holding her together. Her eyes are darting across the battlefield. She is looking for everyone else. She wants to save everyone. And you know that her distracted focus and her desire to save everyone is going to result in her saving no one, possibly not even herself, unless you say or do something.
She needs to live. She needs to live. Tell her to get out of here. Tell her to go. Tell her to get the sorcerer. Gunther is screaming and screaming and screaming inside as loudly as he can, just trying to say, just fucking tell her to go get the sorceress.
Sloss is overwhelmed with rage, trying to kill his second Faerun, let's recall. But somehow, your voice pushes through. What do you make Sloth say?
Get the sorceress, he hisses out.
And his voice resonates. And you can see in Celadine's eyes, though she still wants to save everyone, though she's still conflicted and is torn between all the different focal points on the battlefield, your voice focuses her, and she looks and sees the one thing nobody else could see, perhaps Saberin. The one straggling Faerun that is not on the battlefield, but is hovering over top of the tree line, looking for something that's hiding. And she knows now where Odd is. She nods. It takes a lot about her to do so, but she walks away from you and rushes for the tree line. Rin breaks free of the skeletons that surround him and also rushes for the tree line. Meanwhile, the Faerun that you were engaging turns to follow them, but you grab it by the tooth. You pull it back to you. And with a rage unlike any you've ever felt, a frenzied, reckless, berserker rage, you rip through this thing with your sword.
Good. One down. This one's taken care of. We need to get over to the visit. Says the next priority is a visit. We got to make our way across the battlefield.
No! There are things to kill.
Yeah, I understand.
And Sloss takes control and rushes for the skeletons.
This is the wrong way. Rin can take care of the skeletons. He's fine. We got to save the weak, the sorceress, the Blutmensch. This is where we needed most.
You watch hopelessly through Sloss's eyes as your warring minds can't agree on what to do next. Miraculously, in 3 swings, in a matter of seconds, he downs half of the skeletons that were bombarding Rin.
You have to listen to me. You have to listen to me. I'm Gunther. I am in control. And Sloss hisses through his serpentine mouth. Gunther fessus est, meaning Gunther is weak.
He continues to fight as Saladin and Rin disappear beyond the tree line after Odd. The barracks has collapsed. The Drawn and the wizard Karse are nowhere to be seen. Saladin, Rin, and Odd are gone. Ondar has ran off on his own to God knows where, still manacled and still perhaps under the influence of a mind flayer. The company has truly been shattered, but Gunther, in his prime, or perhaps I should say Slothenboss in his prime, is ripping through monsters like a knife through hot butter. He's not had enough, and he wants more. And he's gonna get it. He's gonna get a whole lot more than he bargained for. As the Feyrim, who were circling in concentric patterns, preparing a coordinated attack, finally start to come down, and they see that you've killed one of their brethren. And even though you don't have an ounce of magic in your body, you've gotten their attention. And they all start bathing the ruins of Karse in fire. Fireballs start falling all around you. Your danger sense kicks in, and the world slows to a crawl. You know you're surrounded by danger, but Slox rolls some amazing dexterity saving throws. But there's 12 fireballs falling on his head. It doesn't matter how amazing they are. The earth shakes under the force of these explosions. Fireball after fireball after fireball crashes into the ruins of Karse. The power of all these spells is so much that the ground beneath the ruins is broken down to the bedrock. And as you deftly dodge one fireball after another fireball after another fireball, just stepping left and right, just avoiding them entirely, or just having like tiniest bit of the explosion glance off your scales, the ground breaks and fissures beneath your feet. Holes open up as like what's left of the ruins crack into this distorted plane of jutting out, disjunted rock. And as you try to avoid all of the fireballs, your leg falls into a hole all the way up to your waist. And you can't move. And you look up, and there's one more fireball coming straight for you.
As it closes in, Gunther is watching through Slothenboss's eyes. And as it gets closer and the eyes light up, Gunther is transported hundreds of miles away, decades in the past, when he is a child, sitting on the floor in front of his mother who is reading him a story. Reflected in her eyes, he sees himself as a young child listening to the words, Mori Tori Me Minerunt.
And then you are bathed in fire. And then there is nothing. You can go take a break. Thanks, Zaid. Meanwhile, just beyond the tree line, Saladin stands alone, chasing after Rin and Odd as fast as she can. Suddenly behind her, the entire ruins of Karse explode. The power so phenomenal that you can feel the radiating heat through the trees. you know Gunther was still back there. And as you turn over your shoulder and you start to sweat, actually sweat, not just beads of water being on your skin, you know there's no way anything could have survived that. Saladin, what do you do? To continue following the footprints to the injured, possibly dying Rin and Odd?
Yeah. I look, I know what that is. And I turn and I look at the footprints and I keep going.
And you keep going. And you follow them away from the ruins of Karse. As fast as you can, you follow those footprints until eventually they stop. And you look around as if maybe you lost them, that your ability to track footprints, you got overwhelmed by the tears in your eyes, maybe. You're just searching for where the footprints resume. When suddenly you realize why the footprints stopped, because Odd appears out of thin air on the ground, holding what looks like Rin's corpse.
Odd. Odd, give me him. Just give him to me.
He's not moving. He's not moving.
You reach over to him with the intent to heal him and use your magic to bring him back from the jaws of death. And as you're about to touch him and do something, you hear a raven's caw echo through the forest. And Rin just opens his eyes. Sorry, you're muted. There you go.
Do not turn away from me!
Rin?
Rin,
we have to go. Just careful, quiet. I don't know where the other Farum is. I don't. It was Rin. We have to get out of here.
Did I fail?
No.
No, you're okay. You're okay.
Why are you here?
If you're here, that means your goddess wanted you here.
Why am I here?
I told you to go.
Rin, I am never going to turn my back on you.
I'm looking around. I'm looking for the Farum.
You don't see it. You've put some distance between you and it. You don't know why it couldn't see you when it was right above you. Something seems to have temporarily blinded it and allowed you to get away. However, at this point, no amount of distance feels like it's far enough.
No. I try to help Rin stand up.
He's gonna try and push you away to try and stand up on his own, but he is definitely going to stumble.
I take your freaking arm and I just put it around my shoulders and I insist and I just hook an arm around your waist and I say, we need to go.
We need to get out of here. The forest is very dangerous at night, and if those Farum are around, we need to leave. We need to leave.
Then, so in Saladin's head, logic says Solstice was somewhere towards the direction of the pyramid. Her heart says Idron and Karsus were the other way. Oh, hold on. But I'm just narrating her head. I'm sorry. But she looks at Rin and she knows what Rin would choose. And she's going to say, come on, we're going this way, and head towards Solstice, where she thinks Solstice might be.
So you're heading back towards Karse, but... to the east side of it where the pyramid was.
Like looping around, like making an arc, yeah.
The,
To try and see if we can track him or something.
Where is everyone, Celadine?
We're going to find everybody. I have a general idea. We're going to find everybody. I just need you. Let's start with who can protect us the best. I think Solstice is this way.
there is no point in finding corpses.
He wasn't even on the battlefield. We don't know where he was.
Think.
Where's Adron? Where's Ondar? Ondar was with you. Where was he?
We just need to
Celadine,
find everybody one at a time.
As you, Odd, as you ask her this, you see, or Celadine, you see that Odd is still holding Ondar's hand axe that you sent her to go pick up.
That's gonna eat a good sized hole in me, but I'm just gonna keep focused.
Need to create as much distance from the ruins of Karse as possible. The only ones that survived the attack are the ones that are standing here. Going back is suicide.
Then let's just walk, please.
He starts walking just in a direction that is not in the way of the ruins of Karse.
So, decidedly away from Karse. Celadine and Odd, are you going with him?
I have no choice.
I go where Rin goes.
Okay.
Odd at this point has turned the exact color of Celadine.
You walk away.
As he's walking, he is going to say, Celadine, if we get into a situation where something comes to attack us, I will buy us time. I beg of you, if you want to call us even for what I am having my kin do for your family, do whatever you need to restrain Odd and take her away from my corpse. I will not have you die trying to retrieve me again. He keeps walking.
You idiot! Haven't you realized by now? I'm stuck with you and you're stuck with me.
Job is to keep you safe.
Yeah, and I'm supposed to keep you safe.
That can never work.
Just please, can we have this argument later?
He just keeps walking.
I'm having a really hard time not walking back.
For what it's worth, Celadine, it brings me no joy to accept that Gunther and Adrian have passed.
What part of you feels joy?
The part that sees that Odd is alive. He keeps walking.
Okay. You keep walking. And as the three of you walk in silence for a little bit, all dealing with your emotions, the sun goes down. And you would be shrouded in complete darkness if not for the fact that you reach a river that Celadine, the same river that you first appeared in when you appeared on this plane. And you know that you're reaching the edge of the Direwood. That it's not much further, and you know what direction, because it's where you first left Wilson to go pick up the company of the Grey Wolf. The company of the Grey Wolf, who, in theory, are no more.
I stop for a second.
Right at the river, there's a break, a small break, but a break in the canopy of the tree line, allowing some moonlight to shine down on you and reflect off the water and allow you to see. Whereas when you're under the canopy at this time, it's just pitch black.
I set Rin down. I just, whatever tree is close, just for a moment. I hand him my water skin. I make sure Odd's sit next to him. And I'm going to step out into the river a little bit. And I'm going to start unhooking my armor. And I do it slowly. But then I start to get manic about it. And I just start taking it off. And I throw it into the river. And like in a shallow, not where it's going to drift away. I want it like a shallow area.
Downhill that wouldn't drift away anyway.
Uh-huh. Okay, good. But I look at it and I start to open and close my hands, and I don't notice it. Celadine doesn't notice it, but Rin and Odd notice that little sparks start to shoot off my arms and start to arc in between the droplets of water on my skin. And I just look at my armor and I'm yelling, not yelling in real life, but I'm yelling. How is this what I needed to become stronger? What purpose is this serving? Talk to me, you bitch. And I wait.
Celadine?
I'm not looking right now.
She doesn't turn her back. She's still facing the water.
I use shape water and I freeze my armor in the river. I use a 5-foot cube. And I just...
You flow water over your armor.
Perfect.
And in between the scales, you almost see you crashing waves of umberly on your armor. Glitter. And glow. Faintly.
Celadine, you're gonna need your armor.
I lean closer to my armor and I say, talk to me.
I put a hand on Odd's shoulder and I go, she needs to do this.
Talking to air isn't gonna do anything.
She is not talking to air.
Is anything else happening?
A twig snaps.
I would like to make a perception check.
I look too. I swing around.
Yeah.
Can I roll or no?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
4.
Same.
If you don't have dark vision, though, you have disadvantage.
I have
dark
disadvantage.
I have dark vision.
Elves.
Okay, so perception. With disadvantage, that's a 16.
And Justin and Anita, what did you get?
A 9.
26. 18 plus 6.
Beautiful. 24?
24. I can't math.
Yeah. And not right now. That's okay.
2 creatures are approaching out of the darkness.
No.
I'm going to push. I'm going to push off of Odd to get up.
And as you get up, Rin, as you push off of Odd and pull yourself up to your feet, your keen eyes pierce the veil of darkness and you see that it's Karse's leaning on your donkey. Not riding your donkey, but leaning on it.
Donkey!
The donkey does have something riding on it. A large load, a large burden, more than just its saddlebags.
Like, I'm going to
I'm running.
stumble as fast as I can to donkey, and I put one arm over the donkey, which is as much of a loving embrace as Rin will ever give anything.
As you do, you realize when you get
Karse.
closer that the thing that's on the donkey's back is a body.
I go for it. I know who that is. I go for it.
Saladin, you pull the body off the donkey's back. Karse says, almost in a stupor, I tried. And you look at the body as it falls to the ground, and its hood comes off of its face, and you see a bunch of white hair, but it's not glowing. It's a drawn. Or it was a drawn. And he's dead.
Can I, because denial kicks in real strong, I go down and I pick him up and I am gonna cradle him. And the water on my hands, water, sweat, whatever, I'm just gonna start brushing off his face, but with my call to the wave, with my water sense, I'm sorry. I'm going to focus like hell on the inside of him and focus on his heart. And I want to feel what the water inside of his blood is doing.
It's not doing anything.
It's not moving.
Rin is just gonna look down and say, I hope you died well, friend.
I want to use my call to the wave and almost, because I can change temperature, I want to inflect what would simulate a pulse and just kind of spasm him and see if I could make anything happen.
Make a medicine check.
Freak. Oh, it's freaking cocked. Okay. 24.
Nothing happens.
Rin is gonna look at Saladin and go, he has passed. It's over.
Karse says to all of you, but almost to himself, he's kind of in a stupor. He says, he died protecting me. And yet, it's all my fault. Those things, they were there because of me.
And they track you.
Rin.
I don't know if they track me. I don't know.
I just say that doesn't matter, and I start cleaning his face, and I just start talking to him, and I say, I'm sorry, I was scared of you, I'm sorry. I can't figure this out myself, please don't go.
Karse, why do you believe that they came for you?
They wanted my power.
Do they
But not the same reason that others want my power. Those things back there, they consume magic. They eat the weave where its fibers are strongest, and that's what nourishes them. They are the enemy of my people. I fought a long war against them, a war I hoped to win by stealing Mistral's power. But when I took her portfolio, her domain, it drew those pharaohs to me. It drew them like moths to fire. Blinded by my light, they could do nothing but hunger for me. And as I watched my cities fall from the sky, I was surrounded by them. And it was the last thing I did to take them down with me. Only now they're back. Wait. They're back because of your ritual. The same ritual that revived me revived them.
Yes. This is our doing. He's just going to walk aimlessly into the woods for a
Rin,
second.
don't.
Rin.
I need time. I will return.
Don't go far.
I need to seek out. And he doesn't say what he's looking for, but he just starts to walk.
Karse just falls to the ground, exhausted. And you can see that he's wounded.
Oh.
Damn it. I lay Adron down, but I keep him to where he is still touching me because I am not ready to be apart from him yet. So I have him next to me while I'm sitting down, and I pull out my healer's kit, and I just start taking care of him.
Okay. Make a medicine check.
Mm-hmm.
About how much longer is left on this potion that I took, Joshua?
Remind me again which potion you took.
Potion of heroism. It says it lasts an hour. Has it been an hour since I took it?
It has been more than an hour.
Okay, in this case, then Odd realizes, oh, that's not good. And she's clutching a wound in her stomach.
Odd, get over here.
I'm okay. He needs you more than I do.
I need you here. I need to be able to see everyone right now. Please, if you can walk over. Sit next to Adron.
Yeah, sure. And at this point, Odd doesn't have anything better to do, so she's going to pull out the dart, and she's going to start tracing a new circle.
That's good. And I do Karse's really, I like quickly as possible. I got a 15.
Start bandaging Karsus up, and just as you get him to a more or less stable point, you're like, close the bandage. You don't even tape it. You're like, here, hold this, and then you move to Odd, and you start doing the same.
And as soon as I see her bleeding, I use the call to the wave again, and I make the bleeding stop, so I control her blood, and then I start bandaging and cleaning.
And you do what you can. You go into full healer mode, and you take care of both of them. And as you're taking care of both of them, as you're using your powers to control water and your knowledge of healing and medicine, you get a sense, or you have a thought cross your mind. You don't know where it came from. But you know that if you weren't in Karse this day, all of these people would have died.
I don't know what to do with that, so I file it away.
Sure.
Take care of Odd.
Well, Rin is often. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that Rin has walked away from the others, short distance. He's by himself.
He's just looking for any living creature at the moment.
Any living creature.
Yeah.
You're in a forest.
Mm-hmm.
You're obviously surrounded by living creatures all around. It's also dark and it's night, and your night vision, your dark vision does help you see.
Yeah, he's heavily wounded right now, so he's looking for something a little slower and easier to kill.
Okay. Make a perception check. I'm going to say with disadvantage.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's 13.
You wander through the forest and you look around for anything, something that you can see. It's not much, but you do find praying mantis, trying to look like a stick.
I'm going to pick it up, and I'm just gonna kind of focus on it, and I'm going to talk to the matron. I'm just going to say, we were misled, and it has cost lives. I pray for the strength to continue to do the only thing that I believe I've done since I've been here that was truly in your name. And I am going to crush the praying mantis and use my touch of death ability, which says when I kill something within 5 feet, I gain 8 temporary hit points. And I'm just going to keep hunting until I'm a little bit stronger. So when I get back to Odd, I am going to be able to fulfill my duties and to protect her.
You know that temporary hit points don't stack, right?
Then I'm only going to kill the one thing. So yeah, I'm just.
Is it a D8 or is it 8 exactly?
It's 8 hit points. Oh, when you reduce a creature within 5 feet of you, you gain 8 temporary hit points.
Awesome. Yeah, you can't stack that up. But
cool.
You kill the maintenance, you get your 8 temporary hit points. Your blessing of the Raven Queen comes through, and you walk back a little
less dying. And I'm going.
It's almost weird because the way temporary hit points work, you haven't actually.
Yeah, You
haven't actually healed your wounds at all.
Yeah, I just can't tolerate them.
Yeah. Like a monk.
So who's walking back?
So I'm gonna walk back, and he's no longer limping. He's just kind of walking upright like he normally does. And he goes, we make camp. I will watch. Get your rest, get your strength.
I finish with Odd, and I say, sit down first.
I am fine.
I'm bandaging you because I can't heal anything else. I'm asking you to sit.
And just sit down.
He walks over and he sits.
Okay, I take care of him.
I'm gonna walk. Don't worry, I'm not going too far. I'm just gonna go look for some firewood if that's what we want to do tonight.
Just
I'll stay close. I have an axe.
Grab my father.
As you stand up with your axe and you're ready to go find some firewood, Karse, who looks like he's about ready to pass out, leaning against a tree next to Saladin, just says, "Hold on." He just holds out his hands and focuses a little bit. What is the required component for this spell?
Depends on the spell.
Definitely not
Create
asking the right
campfire.
people.
Bonfire? Let me look.
I just want to make sure he can do what I'm about to make him do.
Is it the bonfire spell?
Yeah.
Yep.
Create bonfire.
It does not have any components.
No, just local and somatic.
Then he just holds out his hands, and a small fire just appears and lights itself a few feet away from the riverbank.
I appreciate that, but please be careful.
And he nods off to sleep.
I'll take a watch.
That's a cantrip. He does not need his
Nope.
spell book for that one.
I'll take first watch if you want to sleep.
I don't sleep.
I know you don't, but you still need to meditate. Wait, I'll go to sleep in about 4 hours once you're done. And don't worry, I'll scream if anything comes our way.
want to meditate, please.
Well, then you can sit up with me.
I assume Aud didn't hear me when I said go grab my armor, so I'm just gonna grab it.
Oh, I would have grabbed it.
Okay, that's fine. Then I have it. Sure. I'm gonna use it as a really crappy pillow, and I'm going to lay in between Karsus and Adran, and I'm just gonna keep smoothing away his hair and looking at him.
Rin, seeing this, is going to walk over to Donkey and pull out his bedroll and throw it to Celadine. Sleep better.
I'm gonna start going through Donkey's packs and figure out what we have while also sort of taking the first watch.
All of Rin's stuff is in the second you do that, he is going to run over to the bag and close it.
What?
Whatever you need, I can get for you instead.
What's in there you don't want to see?
It's not important.
I think it is.
Well, there's a lot of food in at least one of those saddlebags.
Yeah, he's tossing out rations to everybody. Just...
I'll take it begrudgingly.
The guard that was supposed to feed me wound up getting fire-bolted in the face. Sorry about that, Rin.
He died well.
He died like an idiot. A lot of your people did, and I'm sorry.
It is our purpose.
You really don't get it. Your matron isn't gonna judge you on how well you die. She's gonna judge you on how well you live. And she starts eating.
I believe I saw her walk away from me.
Yeah, well, I heard a raven's call when you woke up.
I do not wish to meditate, as I am ashamed.
What are you ashamed of?
Eat. I will watch the perimeter.
Rin. Just get you to open up and you give me the silent treatment again? Saladine's still awake?
Eating, yeah.
Yeah. Did you know it took me 6 months to learn this guy's name?
No.
Called him Hal before.
It's a funny name.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
He is going to open up his bag and pull out a porcelain mask and toss it at Odd. And then he's going to walk the perimeter.
How do I look, spooky?
It is creepy as fuck.
I just
It's
you
just
look
like
as
a
charming and adorable. as always.
Featureless porcelain mask. Sorry.
No, that's exactly right. It's because when they're in the Shadowfell, you know what's up.
I mean, yeah, I think I cut Rebecca off.
You're okay. I just said she's charming and adorable as always.
you, Celadine. So do we bury him?
I don't know. I'm not ready to think about that. His gods wanted him. His gods wanted him to do something. I don't. What if he wakes up?
Well, hope springs eternal. Celadine, you're incredible. But I don't think you can fix this. Not this time.
It's not supposed to be how things happen.
Well, now what?
We still have to find Gunther and find Ondar.
I don't know if Ondar wants to be found, Celadine. You said he ran away from you.
That doesn't matter. He's not the one making the decisions.
That's what I'm worried about. It's who's making the decisions. Maybe it's best he stays away for a while.
Why?
Why does anything happen?
That's not something I'm supposed to know.
If I figure it out, I'll let you know.
Well, then maybe you can be my god instead.
I'll take you up on that.
I'll do a quick check just to make sure the area is safe before I head back.
Yeah, sure. Make a perception check.
Ooh. 12.
Looks as safe as it's gonna get.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna head back. And join these two. And he's gonna report, everything is safe for the time being.
I should try to get to sleep then, I suppose.
Celadine, you need more sleep than I'll take the first watch.
You need sleep as well, bud.
Something tells me I'm better off without it right now.
You casters require rest. I've seen it.
Karse snores.
He kind of like points.
I am just going to lay down, facing Adron, wrapping and twisting my hands into his shirt so that I can feel if anything happens. I feel it.
Celadine.
I ignore him and I cry myself to sleep.
Don't worry about her, Ren. She's got to, like I said, it's something she's got to do.
Okay.
Odd is going to try and stay up for as long as she can, but eventually sleep will take hold.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tune my weapon.
You're gonna tune your weapon.
Yeah.
And you're also gonna meditate, I'm sure.
Yep.
You all get the benefits of a long rest.
Woo! Key points finally.
That's
A
it.
well-deserved long rest.
Oh, I can hit the button?
Yes, let's hit
You
the
can
button.
hit the long rest button, yes.
Okay. That's a really big deal.
Woo! I get all 2 of my spell slots back.
Oh, my temporary hit points are gone. Time to murder again.
Those of you that sleep, you sleep like a rock. You don't remember any dreams. Just black as night. But you're awoken by the sound of a Farum screech in the distance.
Does my thing do the thing?
Your thing do the thing?
Yeah, now that I'm attuned, does it give me that call that lets me know some shit's about to go down?
You're not in danger.
Oh, okay. Whew.
Oh yeah, you're attuned to it, so it would.
Yeah.
I sit bolt upright because now I know what that sound is.
Yeah. Karse does too.
Be calm.
Don't cast anything. Don't cast anything.
We are fine for the time being.
Is the fire out?
I would have put it out.
Okay.
Where do we go?
Away. Celadine.
What? What?
We need to move quickly.
But I mean, there's Gunther and there's his brother and there's Honor. We don't know what happened to anybody. How can we not go back?
Karse says under his breath, I believe the Snake Man was still in the middle of the city when the bombs fell.
I know.
And you know nothing could have survived that.
I know.
I know not what became of his brother or Onda.
I know which direction Onda ran in. I just know it was the opposite way we were going.
Celadine Andar had the ability to cast spells.
Not manacled.
He was manacled.
He was manacled, but that doesn't mean that the Farron didn't sense his ability. If he's out there, he is already dead.
It's true that he probably didn't make it very far outside the city before the Farum would have tracked him down.
I start looking over Adron again, and I do the water thing again.
He's just as dead now as he was last minute.
Ren is gonna put his hands on her shoulders and go, Celadine. He is gone. He will remain gone. He has made his transition.
Karse says, Celadine, I'm a dead man. Every minute I'm awake is both on the one hand a second chance, on the other hand an abomination. If you want to go back there and look for your friends, even though you most likely will die in the process, I owe you my life, so I will go with you.
We will not.
I walk over to Karsus. I mean, he's not that far from me, really. I hold on to the sleeve of his arm and I just say thank you. And then I let him go.
Just nods in acknowledgement. He doesn't have words.
It is customary for my people to burn our fallen. I understand there are some cultures here that bury their fallen. We have enough time before our travels to honor him before we leave. Choose your method, and then we go.
We could also just send him down the river.
I don't want something to eat him.
And a burial.
Real. Ren goes over to Donkey, and I do have a shovel, so he's going to take his shovel, and he's just going to start digging.
Okay. Well, the ground here is soft and easy to dig.
I start drawing because Ren's digging. I'm going to draw another circle.
You sure?
I hold on.
Jay
to him
Miller,
while he's-
not everyone. Not everyone is a cannibalistic snake man.
Whoever wrote that.
Just eat him.
Who do you think? Who do you freaking think?
I don't know who that is right now.
That's Zayd.
That's Zayd.
Damn you.
I'd imagine, like after a while, he is going to let's still hold the customary 6 feet.
Uh-huh.
He's going to just stab the shovel into the dirt and go, Saladin, it is time.
I pick him up.
This
Then I
is this
walk him
weight.
over.
What?
And reaches over. He touches the Dron's hand.
What?
He holds up the Dron's hand. And there's a ring on a Dron's finger, and he says, "This is magical. I can sense it. Do you want to bury this with him?"
Can I grab at my neck and I realize that when I gave away what was on my necklace, did I give the necklace or do you think I would just give the ring? Would I still
That's
have
up
that?
to you. You tell me.
I
Did
think
you
I
give
would
the
have.
ring
Okay.
or the whole necklace?
I'll say, yeah, because I don't think I would have given the whole thing. So I still have an empty leather strap on my neck.
Sure.
I take the ring and just because I don't want to fuss with the knot for right now, I'm gonna put it in my pocket. But
Here,
I'm
I'll
gonna,
just take
Got
it.
it.
No.
I'll take it and I'll put it on here later.
I hate to bring this up.
You have the rest of his stuff. It's all in his pack, and you have his pack still.
Do we really want magic on our person as we flee from creatures that hunt magic? If we want to take it to honor him, put it in Lift's pack. Put it in Donkey's pack.
It's just it's not active. It's like
Karse says, "As long as that ring is not on anyone's finger." And he says, "Sorry. As long as that ring is not on anyone who's still alive's finger,
I'll keep
it should not attract those things."
I'm keeping it.
Very
And
well.
I am squeezing the hell out of him as I walk him over. And I sit and I burn every inch of his features and his clothes and his hair and his everything, and I just remember all of it.
He does not
And-
have. You look on him trying to remember his face, and the face you're looking at does not have the luster that you recall a drawn to have had. You didn't know him very long, and yet there was no one else quite like him. But now this is just a body.
I really don't want to do it, but I just
Rid is going to walk over to you and offer to take him.
fine. And I know I'll do it myself. I lay him down. And I can't, the idea of watching him being covered is too much for me, so I just kind of take a few steps back and I sit.
Once he's in the hole, I am going to start to cover him, and I will say, you talked a lot, and I didn't like that. I wish I would have had the time to fight by your side while you were silent. Then he pats the ground, and he puts his shovel back onto Donkey.
Very well. And then he looks to Saladin, Karsus, and he says, "Where to?"
I slowly put my armor back on and just I can't stop the tears, but my face is flat. And according to Rin, away.
Rin points in just a random direction that's not in the direction of the rooms of Karse, and he goes.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're good. He just goes, "That way seems as good as any other." And he just kind of grabs the reins on Donkey and he starts to walk.
You said that this was where there was a clearing. Is the sun like the direction?
It's not a clearing. It's.
I mean, from the canopy.
Cuts through the canopy. Yeah, because the trees aren't.
Can I see where the sun is at all?
At this point, you can't see the sun. It's bright outside.
I can't identify.
Can't see the sun. It's not yet noon. And that's the only time you'll see the sun directly overhead.
As he's walking, he's going to say, "Saladin, I don't know if this will bring you comfort, but I was born in the Shadowfell. I am familiar with death. It is peaceful for some. It's not an enemy. It is not a friend. It is simply natural. Your tears for death are like tears for the rain. It will come. Nothing can change that."
And I'll just... There's definitely going to be a storm coming.
Me without an umbrella.
Oh, God.
Would I remember? I wouldn't remember the direction that I was taken from when I was absconded to Karse.
It's been too long, and you definitely weren't in a position to memorize the route either.
Do I know from where I am where Ondar was, the direction? Like, I remember where the city is behind us?
So, where you're standing right now, you could navigate back to Karse. Once you're back in Karse, you could pinpoint where Ondar went. If you wanted to go around Karse to the other side where you believe him to more or less have last been, it will be harder to pinpoint his direction unless you're standing basically in the place you were at when you last saw him run. Not possible, but harder.
I don't think tracking down Ondar is an option, Saladin.
It is not.
Honestly, maybe he just doesn't want to be found.
He does not.
Shame. I have his axe. And a question for him still.
Karse says, not to play devil's advocate, but if you really want to track Ondar, it's not impossible.
If I track Ondar, I will kill Ondar.
Rin.
There is no more.
There's been enough death.
Not impossible, but it would be a lot easier with a ranger on our side, one who knows the area.
Yeah, where are we gonna find one of those? Got one in your pocket?
I'm gonna walk up to Rin. And I'm going to get closer than is comfortable. And I'm just looking him dead in the eyes.
He is returning the gaze. Like, before he was kind of softening it, he is not.
Listen.
I have listened. I have been understanding. I have been patient. I have been considerate. I have been empathetic. All things that are the antithesis of my nature. I will no longer submit to these feelings. If I see Andar, I will. And I promise you, Celadine, I will kill him.
We
Best that we do not track him and we keep on this course.
We're dead here.
I don't know. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I'll
Do you know
follow
who
anyone
does?
to me. Who?
Probably
obviously
Andar.
Obviously Andar, but
He knows where to go, but
if
where he wants to go and where we want to go, are those the same place?
that's the question.
I know nothing about where we are. Neither of you know anything about where we are. We're either going to run into monsters and die, or we can at least try to find something. What direction does matter right now?
Well,
Randy,
This is the...
oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Karse speaks up and says, Technically
what?
I mean,
Oh no.
it's been about 1,000 years since I was last alive, but assuming the geography hasn't changed that much, I do know where we are.
Technically, you would be right. High Force has probably grown since the last time you were here.
Here's what I know about where we are and where we are going. I know that the direction that we are heading has been chosen not by some creature that is controlling one of us. I know that where we are going, I have chosen at random with the blessing of my matron.
Karse, where would you go?
Well, that's the problem. I might know a bit about the lay of the land, but I don't have anywhere to go where I would do well. I know that due east is the Star Mountains. I know that if you go far enough west, you reach the Anorak Desert. I know that north of here is the Nether Mountains, and I know that south is the High Moors.
Well, I don't think anyone's going to recognize you after 1,000 years.
You'd be surprised.
South is where my family is then.
And you wish
South
to
is
go
also
south.
where your people are, Rin. The ones that you sent.
Then we will go south.
Good a place as any.
South it is then. Might I
Yes.
recommend,
Yes.
if we're going to head south, we first head a bit east or west along this river until we are well outside of the region now infested with them.
A wise decision.
Probably the best one you've had so far.
If we head east, following the river, head far enough east, the forest will fall away. We'll reach the Great Peak Mountains, and without even having to climb them, we can walk the narrow valleys between the high forest and south. Or if we head west to the Star Mountains, which sit right in the center of the forest, there is a stream, a river called Unicorn Run that runs south from the Star Mountains, cutting straight through the high forest, all the way down until we exit the high forest. And navigating by one of these two paths, the if we wish to head south, is the most assured way of not getting lost.
We will travel through the trail of unicorns or whatever.
Take that as a good omen.
East it is.
It is
Starts with-
important in this
oh,
journey.
west. I got those directions mixed up. It's west.
Okay.
Trust me, I know where we're going. It's just been a long time.
We're
West is
trusting
still
an-
this way, right?
We're trusting an ancient wizard. What could go wrong?
Could be worse. I could be leading you.
The only thing you know how to find is trouble.
Well, then it's a good thing we're not following me.
It will be important for this journey, for us all to understand that we are the only thing that we can count on. We must become a unit. I led a regiment of Shadar-Kai, and we were only ever as strong as our weakest link.
Well, that'll be me then.
Karse speaks up and says, "To be fair, my friend, not that I wish to contradict your statement, because you are very right. But ever since I've met you, you're the one that keeps wanting to do what the others in the group say not to do."
And that is what we are addressing now.
Does anyone else remember what Gunther talked about?
Gunther? The snake man? Pertaining to what? He said a lot of things.
There was some witch to go.
That's not my problem. That was Gunther's mission, not mine.
Yeah, he did
I
say
don't really have
something
a
about
mission.
finding a hag, I suppose, but I don't know any of the details.
Same.
And even if I did, like God said, that was a problem of the company of the Grey Wolf, which
We are not.
I don't see any of them here anymore.
Well, there's like looks
We
at the
need
grave.
an established goal. My goal is to find a place where Odd can live in peace.
Well, that was the plan. After
The
13 months, I
only-
seem to forget.
The only thing I was told was I was to come here and become stronger.
You feel strong.
Oh no. But
Well, strength is a matter of many disciplines. You came here alone. You're not alone anymore. Perhaps the prophecy you speak of was to find strength in numbers.
what happened to those?
I see.
Paradise lost, paradise found.
I
Just
don't
the-
like cliches.
A few other people standing here.
I'm gonna start moving in the direction that
West.
west.
That way.
Yeah.
Uh,
That way.
Karse starts walking west as well, right down the middle of the river. He doesn't care that he's getting food sweats. The fine clothes that he's wearing,
They're very nice clothes.
they
So
are.
we're just going to
Not
take
his.
all these remnants of the people we were meant to find and do nothing.
I mean,
Found
the
the
person who told you you were meant to find them turned out to be a beholder.
But my goddess won't talk to me. I don't
I-
know what else to do.
Who is your
Yeah.
goddess?
Somebody.
Neither will mine.
You'll forgive me. Religion's never been my strong suit.
I don't even. Honestly, for the longest time, whenever Rin mentioned the matron, I thought he was talking about an actual person.
She is an actual person.
Well, I mean.
Not one that I've ever heard of.
You weren't paying attention to the consequence.
Like I said, religion's never been my strong suit. I tried to become a god.
How'd that work out for you?
Not well.
That's what I figured. Well, what's the donkey's name?
Donkey.
I used to call him.
Hello, donkey. And I'm petting the donkey.
I call
Well, lift your donkey. He seems to have the best spirits of the four of us. Or the five of us. Sorry, donkey. Or lift. Whatever they call you.
I actually, now that we're talking about it, I go over and I check out the donkey. I make sure that he's okay. Like to eat, drink. I'm literally going to transfer my care over to the donkey.
Well, the donkey has been through a lot. And has clearly suffered some stressful situations, and his original owners are nowhere to be found. But he's resilient.
I go over to his face. Sorry.
I was gonna say, and as long as you all seem like you're okay, he's okay.
I start petting him. I look him in the eyes. I talk. I just start saying the nice, reassuring things that I can at least say to something. And
you're doing
just
your
try
best
to coax it along.
to make the donkey feel better. And in its own way, it's almost making you feel a little better.
Because it's the last part of them.
Emotional support donkey.
While this is go ahead.
Sorry. No, Justin, you go.
I was just gonna say, while that's happening, Red would kind of tap Odd on the shoulder.
Yeah.
I don't know that I ever apologized.
For what? There's a number of things.
All of them.
You tried to do right by me, and I appreciate that, but you could have acted sooner.
I could have.
What was the plan, Rin?
If I were to have taken you out the moment I knew it was the right thing.
You knew it was the wrong thing for a lot longer.
I had faith. I have faith.
You have faith, but sometimes faith can be misplaced. Especially when you have someone like, what was his name? Azazel?
Zazel.
Especially when you have someone like Azazel trying to manipulate whatever it was your matron had planned. He took what you wanted to do and what you needed to do and he twisted it. He misled all of you.
There is no... I don't know how to fix what was done.
You can't. That's okay. It's what you do afterwards that's important.
You were one of 13.
Technically, I was the 14th. Sole survivor. Whatever that means.
This is why you can never protect me. You understand?
I'm not gonna run around and desert you.
It's not deserting me. It's letting me fix this.
Rin, you can't fix this. I'm broken beyond repair. It's okay. I'm okay. Better now. One foot in front of the other, I guess. Let's keep moving.
And you keep walking down the river for an hour or two, maybe
Yep.
3. Time seems to meld together. So
It's
Adi,
go ahead.
As you're walking next to Lift or Donkey, talking to him, reassuring him.
I'm gonna call you Hortense. Everybody else has a name for you.
Talking to him, reassuring him, reassuring yourself as you're reassuring him. Karsus is just walking next to you, in stride with you, but mostly silent.
Karsus, tell me something.
Yes,
Those circles I'm drawing, do they mean anything?
they look like rituals.
If I could remember what they were.
Seems
Hey, Rin.
you had
Yes.
definitely had some ritual training. You telling me you don't remember the training?
Not a clue. That's
I
the
know.
beauty of things. I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, fortunate.
Ren's got a collection of some of the best ones. He's been taking drawings.
Sighs and goes over to Donkey.
Hortense!
Opens up his pack, and he's got like a thick, like drawing journal book. He just kind of shoves it into Karse's chest, like, I want that back when you're done with it.
He takes the rations and nods.
It's a journal that's full
Oh.
of drawings.
The journal, sorry. I thought
Yeah.
you were giving him rations.
No.
Journal.
He probably needs food too.
Well, I think we're passing that out.
Probably rations too. You guys are eating as you're walking. He takes it and he says, yes. And he puts it in a pocket and he says, I'll study this when we stop to rest.
Teledine. We will not agree on Andar. That can be fine if we can agree on everything else. I believe that we can.
I wish this was different circumstances. But okay. I will try. We can at least compromise.
Is there anything what makes you not this sad?
Well, not death happening helps.
You speak of a god. Would you like to tell me about her?
She likes likes to take. She likes fear. She likes control. I don't. There's not anything positive I'm ever going to say about her. I don't understand why she chose me.
Just because you were chosen does not mean you have. I've been spending too much time with Odd.
Kind of a good thing.
Creatures that exist so far beyond us. The gods can have such fickle and even human emotions sometimes.
She's quite human with her emotions.
Yet, it must be comforting to know the balance is maintained, that for every god like yours, there's a god like Adron's. And together, they all make the great wheel turn.
As far as I'm concerned, my god can burn.
Yeah.
Why do you believe that you were chosen?
Because I gained some water abilities. I don't know.
I think he gained a fair bit more than that.
Not until after.
This god that you speak of that is so capricious and unkind to everyone favored you because you could manipulate the water?
All I have, I don't know.
I can manipulate water.
I wasn't magical. I thought I wasn't magical. And then I just was, but only with water.
Something tells me there's more to you than just a few water-based parlor tricks.
I might not know about it.
On that, Karse, we can agree.
As you're all walking on and on down the river, sun beaming overhead now at the high point in the sky, such that the tiny crack between the canopy is still visible. It's a warm day, especially for this time of year where it's usually quite cold. And weather is favorable. Just making your trek up the river less cumbersome.
And I just start paying attention and making sure perception-wise.
Yep. And as the sun shines down on you, you see, looking up, two suns shining down on you.
That's different.
That is different.
Is it?
One of them's moving quite fast through the sky, and you realize it's not a sun. Something
I stop
is
everyone.
falling through the sky. Something that's bright, hot, and burning up.
And
Cutting
directly towards us?
across the
I-
sky. Not directly towards you, but close enough.
Run in a direction that it is not going. Can
I
we-
am going to run towards it, yelling, Odd, Celadine, get back.
That makes no
Not good,
sense.
not
Stay
good,
with
not
us.
good, not good, not good, not good.
It's not a fireball like the Therans that drop fireball. It's more like a beam of light cutting across the sky, not unlike the beam of light you saw once that deposited this angel who spoke to a drone.
I'm just gonna say Lathander.
Sure.
The light cuts across the sky, cuts a swath across the sky, and something falls.
Yeah,
Something falls to the northern side of the river that you're walking down.
I'm
And it
running.
can't be. I know you want to do something, and I'm trying to finish speaking.
My bad.
It can't be more than. It can't be more than. It can't be more than 100 feet north of the river, because wherever it lands, it impacts the ground with an audible thump, and it's close enough that you can feel the ground shake under the crash.
Oh, that's interesting. I start running towards it.
I follow.
The three of you start rushing towards whatever fell from the sky. Karse lagged behind because he's taking the donkey. As the three of you rush, running through the forest towards a smoking crater up ahead.
Ooh.
Rin, you went first. Your instincts told you to move. And as a monk, you're the fastest of the three of you. Yet, despite the fact that you left first and you're the fastest, somehow Celadine overtakes you.
I skipped leg day. I'm sorry.
Celadine overtakes you, and she reaches the lip of the crater first. And as Celadine climbs to the lip of the crater, she looks down upon what lies within it. And it is a creature. He's covered in dark, ashen clothes. And his skin is a dark, deep gray ash color.
I
And
hold
at first
on.
it looks like someone that you've never seen before, but the hair is glowing bright, and it's unmistakable.
I run down into the crater.
I run.
And Celadine, standing on the lip of the crater, almost against her will, can't help but mutter one word. Drawn? With a question mark? And it is a drawn. And yet, it also isn't. His hair glows the same. His features are the same. He's got that same rugged complexion, look on his face. He's wearing the same clothes that you just buried his body in. And yet, everything is different. His skin has darkened, and his wings are out. But they're not the bright, feathery, light wings that you have come to recognize as his. They are bony, skeletal wings. And his eyes, in contrast to his glowing hair, are black as night.
I would like to hold an action to attack.
Am I in front of him? Am I up to him?
You're the only one that sees him. You went up ahead. They're still catching up.
Okay, I would have run right to him.
And as you climb down the crater to Adran, his skeletal wings fade away. His blackened eyes turn back to the regular color. And he looks down to see his darkened hands. And he's like, oh. And the two of you close distance.
I immediately do my water sense and I see if his heart's beating.
His heart's beating.
I put my hands on his face and I just start. I buried you.
The other two catch up You get to the lip of the crater, and you look down into the crater, and you see Celadine touching Adron's face. And yet it's not Adron, but it is Adron. He looks like you took a picture of Adron, and then you adjusted the hue saturation to just make everything several shades darker.
I
Removed all color.
I look him in the eye and I say, "What did you do?"
This is interesting.
Celadine, get away from it.
No.
I'm going down towards.
Odd.
Yeah, you're on camera.
Oh, okay,
and you're unmuted.
No.
Sorry, I guess you couldn't tell when I switched over.
No, I've been
No
acting
idea.
it out anyway.
No, you did good. I'm just. What did you do?
Hello.
Well, I died, and now I'm not, and it's gonna take some explaining.
Oh,
Rin,
definitely.
did you still want to attack him?
I'm holding my action. The second he does something that's
Okay.
little.
I take my shield and I'm not looking behind me and I protect the both of us.
I don't
There's three
think
of
you
you
need
now.
to do that. It's okay. It's me, but also not and different and more.
Do you remember everything?
I don't. This is not a quick explanation.
And that is as good a place as any for us to take a little 5-minute break, since we're definitely going to have some talking to do. So we're going to take a little 5-minute break. We're going to stretch our legs. We're going to use the washroom. We're going to refill our drinks. This is Ron? Maybe. It kind of looks like him. I might have to order some new art.
We'll recolor it. It'll be
We'll
fine.
recolor it. We'll be right back in 5 minutes. You guys stretch your legs. Do what you do on breaks. We'll be right- And we're back. That was the quickest 5 minutes ever. Oh boy.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, and we're just gonna jump right back into it. You guys were adventuring through the wilderness, all solemn, full of despair, but also hope somehow, when a beam of light cut across the sky, and for the second time in his life, Adron fell out of the sky into a crater in the ground and was found by one of his friends. No longer Deadron.
Yes. And
Still Deadron at the
and
same time.
Thickest Bay, your art was wonderful. I'm sorry we're gonna have to do a full recolor.
Yeah, so can I check over his body while he's talking and just like, is there anything to fix?
No, he's in perfect health, despite the fact that he clearly looks a little different. He's
You
got
are new?
a really bad tan.
So
Interesting.
I think I need to. Okay, wait, hold on. Where's Gunther? And because he's gonna want to hear this too.
Dead. Like
Yeah.
you.
Karse catches
We
up
didn't see
with the
him.
donkey.
Oh, Karsus, you're alive. Great. Okay, this is good. That's one thing down. And
I don't think
Gunther is
made
back
it
in the
out.
city. He,
Gunther didn't make it.
listen,
No,
Yes.
Celadine. There was no way he could have survived that.
Gunther was back in the city. There was a large explosion, which was close to where he was, but we didn't go back and we didn't look for him, so we don't know.
wait, wait. So there was an explosion, but Gunther was in the city.
It was.
It was on
Faerun.
top of him. The Faerun.
Ranged
You didn't see.
fireballs and leveled the ruins of Karse to the ground. Gunther was inside.
Gunther was.
Okay, but he's fine.
No,
No,
he's dead.
No, he's not. I know he's not yet. We
What do you mean?
have time.
Then we need to go back.
So, okay, here's the thing. I was dead. Like, dead.
Mhm.
Very dead.
We buried your body. How is this possible?
You buried my body. Did you get my ring? Did you get my hat?
I have your ring.
Not.
We got your
You had a
ring.
hat?
It was in my pocket. How do you think I hide? Wait, what does my hair look like?
Glowing,
Kind of
as it always does.
glowing, but kind of darker, I guess.
His hair hasn't changed. It hasn't darker now.
I pull the ring out of my pocket and
Can I
just
overrule that?
It's darker.
As the way I was picturing it, as my character, if I may, was that
Go for
it's
it.
almost like it's pulling the light from the, like it's still glowing, but it's like it's absorbing the light around it so that it looks brighter.
You almost have like I'm kind of picturing like a halo of shadow.
Yeah, kind of. Like it's sucking the light from everything else, and that's what's fueling its brightness.
That's cool.
Which, okay,
So
so
it isn't exactly the same, but it still looks bright.
yeah, yeah.
It looks
So
No,
Yeah,
what do you?
it's a little weird.
Nothing else matters. What do you know about Gunther?
okay, so here's the okay. Things
Pick
on other
something.
planes don't carry over to explanation as well as like things on this plane. This has been a problem before. My memories get muddled
It's fine.
when I go from one plane to another. It doesn't work right. So I was dead. And then I went to Karse, and you were all dead. All of you. Everyone. And that included Gunther. And did it include Ondar?
Ondar ran.
Ondar ran.
I don't
Well, I ran.
I don't
I wouldn't
know.
have been in the city.
Okay, it did include Gunther, but also all of you. And
So you're saying if we go back there, we'll all die.
wait, no, because I was dead, but you're not. And Gunther was there and he was dead, but you're not dead, which means that you weren't dead, which means your spirit, you weren't in the plane of the dead.
I reached
Just
for
saying that
Adron's
you
hands
were
and
in the-
Sorry, everyone's talking what? Celadine, what's up?
I just wanted to calm you down and get your thoughts straight.
No, I can't calm down yet. I need to get it all out before it's gone. It's gonna be gone soon if I don't say it.
Okay.
So you were all dead, but you're not dead, so Gunther's not dead because he was dead too. Does that make any sense? Okay, then I went to the grandfather tree because it's a place in the high forest that I knew. And everyone there was dead, but Gunther took care of that, so they're not dead, so everything's fine. So that's how I know, right? So in
You're
the
not
plane of the
making
dead,
any sense.
everything's dead until it's dead, and then it's not. Does that make sense?
So
No.
things in the plane of the dead come to life when they're dead?
That's what yeah. So they come to life when they die, because I went to a town and there were people there and they were there and they were alive, but then we got on a ship and we went to a city of the dead because they weren't alive, they were dead.
I think I'm following you.
And then I was offered a deal from an archdevil, but they said that I'd become a lieutenant in the first realm of hell, and we'd finally win the blood war against the demons versus the devils. But I've made deals with devils before, and it seemed like a bad idea. But now I'm not. But Lathander hasn't chosen me now, and I'm not chosen by him. But now a diva lives inside me.
Oh.
Diva.
What's a diva?
Do you remember Celadine, the angel who came down from? Yeah, he is gone, but he's not, because he's in me.
That the same one?
The same one. And now my connection to Lathander is severed, but my magic is being fueled through him.
So you're part of the Thunder. You're not part of an archdevil?
There's no devils, only, but celestial.
Okay.
And he's a part of me now, and I feel changed.
It's okay.
Well, you
but
look
also-
great, except kind of weird.
But also like severed from Lathander, like there's a connection, but it's indirect.
It's okay.
Karse is
Figure
looking
that
at
out.
Rin, who's been very quiet, and Karse says, "What do you think about all this?"
I think that if we keep making the same foolish decisions, like running to a dead man with open arms, willing to accept any madness that he says, then we are going to continue to find ourselves burying corpses.
I agree.
But you're
When you
talking
think
to
you
a
saw-
dead man. What are you talking about?
I've been dead before.
Yeah, so have I. This isn't my first time.
Well, what you think you saw in the realm beyond life. You're trying to make sense of it in a logical way, but it's earthly logic.
You would have us go back to the ruins, if I am to understand correctly.
Where are we? How close are we? Can I go check?
We can go.
We
We're
are days travel.
a day's travel from Karse.
We can
Oh.
go. We can go.
Because he might. You're all alive. He might be alive.
So you would have us go back to the ruins, if that is what I'm to understand, correct?
Yes, Rin.
No.
How do you suppose you can survive that attack?
I don't know. How does he turn into a snake man?
If this isn't obviously a trap, Saladin, then go. But I will not join you.
Fine.
Celadine, I don't want you to go.
I don't think any of us have choices here. If you want to be in the forest by yourself, Rin, fine.
You have been baited by Ondar. Now you will be baited by Adren. And you will continue to be baited with your bleeding heart until the day that it kills you. I will
Rin,
not
that's
let-
not fair.
My bleeding heart.
I'm open to alternatives. How do we know? Did you see his body?
Not at all, which is why we go look.
It is
I
not
saw
worth
the
the
entire
life
city.
of the remaining.
I saw the entire city as it was burned to ash.
And I saw him get eaten by a Faerun and he survived. I don't know what it takes to kill this guy.
Oh, yes. So let's gleefully walk back to the belly of the
We
beast.
don't have to go into the middle of the city. We could walk around. We could do anything.
Well, those things like magic. They're not gonna want you, Rin. Just go.
Fine. He grabs Donkey, and he continues down the trail following west.
I
You
say
go back
wait.
to the river?
Yeah, he's going.
I go back, but only to grab what packs were Adron's, Oddar's, whatever the things that if I don't have them on my person, I take them.
Okay.
I make sure I have their stuff.
Okay.
Wait, is that my stuff?
Yes.
As you're grabbing your stuff, he is just going to grab your hand and he goes, "When you get Odd killed, know that I will hunt you.
I have a great
Then
track
will
record of
hunt
not
your
killing.
family."
Karse. Rin. Karse is a death trap, and we should not go back there. But not 2 hours ago, you yourself said that we needed, if we were to survive, to start working as a team.
This is
And yet-
suicide.
And it is suicide. But it's even more suicide if we part. Like we are proposing doing now. Look, you brought me back to life. I don't get a say in this because I shouldn't even be here. If these people who saved my life want me to walk back into that death trap, it's suicide, yes, but I'll do it.
Rin,
I think you're right, Rin, in that it's suicide, but I think you're wrong in that you should turn your back on these people now.
I want to make a promise to you, Rin. So I have a great track record of having party members die. And they've always been me. I'm
not entirely true.
It's mostly true.
Insight. No, I'm just kidding.
I care more about protecting those that I am traveling with than I care about protecting myself. You can trust me that Odd's gonna be fine. And as she learns to control this magic that is flowing through her, I know what it's like to have your soul touched by magic, and I will help guide that as I can. But you also have to trust me that I've had experiences that my brain can't properly comprehend. And I want to be able to take that knowledge and use it as best I can. And that knowledge right now might save one of my friends' lives.
It might also get all of your other friends killed.
It might. And for that reason, I asked you to take the most dangerous task of all. You don't have any magic, and that's what those things are attracted to. I'm not saying go into Karse and look around.
Well, maybe that is what we should be saying. He is a monk, and unless monks have changed in the last 1,000 years, they're the first person you should ask to walk into a deadly situation.
He does have the best odds, I'll give him that, but I'm just
Odd.
saying, get close. Take a look. Nice. Take a look, that's all I'm asking.
You still talk a lot.
Yeah.
Does.
Yeah?
He died and he still talks a lot. That's impressive.
I think it's a character flaw.
So,
walk
are
up
you
to him.
asking me to be someone I'm not? I thought that's what you were worried about.
I'm gonna step up really close to Rin again. And I have my shield in my hand. And I have Adron's... Oh no, I gave Adron's weapon back. I have my mace.
No, I didn't take it from you.
You didn't take... Okay, then I have Adron's. I just look at you. And I say... We would have a better chance with you with us. To stay with us. We would
Well,
all have a better chance. But... And... Her skin sparks just slightly again, and you almost like hear the little buzz and snap of the electricity. Never will you insult or threaten my family again.
Then stop threatening mine.
I will protect Odd like you.
Like you protected Gunther, or Etran for that matter.
Adron.
Atron.
I could only be so many places.
How's Ondar?
I don't know, and I would like to go find out.
well, more to that point, if we do, I'm not saying that going back to Karse is a horrible idea, terrible idea. We shouldn't do
Finally.
it. However, if we wanted to find Ondar, it would be easier to track him from Karse.
I'm aware.
So, if we go
If-
back to Karse, we
Uh,
maybe find
two.
Gunther.
There are 2 ways to track a person.
I
That's
can
okay.
track.
One is to have an expert tracker
I can do that. I am.
follow their trail that they leave behind, their footprints, broken branches.
It's one of my
They're wake.
specialties.
That's one way. The other way, well, actually, there's 3 ways to track a person. You could track them the old-fashioned way, like you're proposing. You could track them using magic. I believe Odd has his axe. That axe could be used as a focal point for a scrying spell.
I'm not strong enough for scrying.
And there's a third way. Psychology.
I think
If you can
probably know where he's going.
figure out where he's going next, you don't need to track him. You could meet him there.
To what end? To what
Where would
end
he
are we
go?
searching for him?
Here we
He
go.
did stab me a lot.
Oh, perhaps we should find him so he can stab you some more. Oh, no, he was such an asset in the last fight. We definitely need him by our side this time. Oh, better yet, let's make sure that we get Gunther, because if he survived that explosion, I'm sure he could have fought the entire sky-blocking amount of whatever those things were. These are pointless endeavors. We have a path to follow. We have a plan. And you want to abandon that to find dead men and traitors.
If they were your family, would you look?
Are they your family? Because we are heading towards your family, or would you rather waste time finding traitors?
They were mine.
That's worth something.
The only family I have left is lost. These people that I've been traveling with have become my family, and I care about them.
And they are dead, or they have abandoned you. And I understand that is a hard reality to accept. But half of my kin that I lived with, day in, day out, have died. And I have accepted this, and I have moved on because I have a responsibility.
And look how you turned out.
That's a very fine point.
Do you find yourself to be a caring person, Rin? Or has life made you hard? And maybe we can try something a different way.
You want to know what I see? I see that we all have people that we care about. And I see that the only person who has the person that they care about still breathing is me. So if I have to sacrifice emotion and become hard and cold to make sure that I succeed in taking care of the person that I care about, then that is fine.
I sort of grab Rin's hand.
I have one more thing to do. Let's lighten the mood a little bit. Saladin, I have some gifts to give you that will hopefully keep you alive better than they kept me alive.
Okay.
So congratulations. I have this really nice shield. I go over to Lift and I take off my +1 shield and I give it to you. It's dwarven made. It was a great shield. I can't really use it anymore. My circumstances have changed, and I hope it protects you better than it protected me. And also, I see that you're currently wielding my mace. It was made for Cleric of Lathander, but still a +1 mace. It has some radiant damage against undead. It's a great mace, and I can't really use it anymore because Lathander and I aren't on the best of terms right now.
Is he speaking Draconic?
A little bit.
A little bit. They're just a really good mace and a really good shield. They're like really well made.
I would. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
So, enjoy, and I will take back this walking stick of mine, and that's gonna be what I use for a little bit. And did somebody say that they got my hat and ring? Because I would love to have those back.
We got your ring.
I have
your
ring.
hat. Your hat's sort of, if it was in your pocket, it's with your other.
I had no idea there was a small hat.
The hat has been buried.
I can get another hat, but I'd love the ring back.
Here. I
Thank
just
you.
get.
Slide that back on. And there was an immovable rod too. That one was a gift.
It's in your things. I have those. Yes, that's all yours.
I'll take the rest of the pack and
Yeah. There you go.
Should we?
John.
Yes.
Is Gunther alive?
I think so, and I hope so. And I don't know. I can't just walk away from that. I feel a need to know one way or the other. Because if he's injured and we're abandoning him, I don't think I can't handle that.
I can't live with myself either.
And that's why all I want to do is go get close enough that we can take a look. And if we see his body and he's dead, we don't have to get any closer than that.
As I'm to understand it, if those creatures did to under what they did at the canopy, there will be nothing left.
Then that's evidence too.
We should go.
Not everyone's gonna crawl out of a crater, and I know that.
I'm very glad you did.
If you did, then maybe there's hope for Gunther.
Well, maybe.
Not from the sky, probably.
All three of you are filled to the brim with magic.
I'll stay far away. You don't need to worry about me. But I'll go with them for a little bit. Stay on the outskirts of the city.
I won't go in either.
You're honestly really the best person to go into the ruins is you. But I know that if I promise to stay away and run at the first sign of trouble, will you do this for me? Will you check and make sure?
Don't go on.
I'm sorry.
I'm still holding Rin's hand.
I just take a step towards him and I say, look, I apologize. I don't know how to handle my emotions.
You don't understand.
Karse slaps under his breath and says, neither of you do.
Shut up, Karse.
That's a good point too, actually. I like that.
Something you two have in common.
Honestly, we both need to get better at
asking.
expressing it.
I am asking all of you to stay. And to
Not-
let me go.
Not this far away.
If I may say one piece of suggestion.
What?
I'm easily the oldest person here, though I know I don't look it. And I have a lot of experience fighting those things.
If you're gonna suggest you go with, I don't feel comfortable
No,
with that.
I'm not going anywhere near Karse again if I don't have to. Though that is my city. But the point I'm trying to make is this group, Company of the Grey Wolf, or whatever you want to call yourselves,
Brown donkey.
this group, donkey is gray, whatever. This group, I'm trying to make a point. My point is, this group only needs one leader. And I see two very capable candidates. But I think the two of you should decide amongst yourselves who is going to take charge, because we don't need the two of you continuing to fight over who makes the call. And while I was the most powerful wizard of my time, in this case, I'm happy to follow someone else's lead.
How far can those things detect magic?
Far. "600 feet easy."
Oh,
I don't know how we got out of there the first time.
I think I might have had something to do with that.
I think they were more invested in destroying what was left of my city than they were in following us.
One was right above me. It struck Rin down. And sometimes when I get scared or when I get angry, magic just kind of happens.
I might be able to help you with that.
Yeah, I don't really know how to control it quite yet. I'm working on it. I'm kind of self-taught.
A prodigy.
Well, I had a great teacher, and he's a part of me now, so maybe...
You know, I was a prodigy once. But I have a feeling that the type of magic that lives within you is not something you can harness through studying books.
I kind of see it like a farmer's field. Like, you know how there's a farmer's field and there's like an apple tree just outside the fence? You can pick those apples all you want. That's fine. Farmer's not going to get mad. But if you try to get the stuff that's inside the fence, that's when the farmer gets angry and sometimes things explode.
I'll pretend I understood that. He turns back to Bryn and Saladin.
How far would you say we are from Karse's?
Now? You're about a day away from Karse's.
Yeah.
A day's travel, so
Well past 600 feet.
yes.
Oh.
I thought it was about a meter from Karse's.
From Karse, the ruins of Karse.
Karse.
The person is Karse's.
Whoops.
I know, it gets confusing. Why do you keep doing this to yourself?
Because I was vain and I named the city after myself. It's a long time ago.
And I will find Gunther.
If there is anything left of him to be found, I'm confident that you will find him.
I trust that you can, and if you don't, then it tells me I was wrong about other things too, and it's a quick way to know whether my visions were accurate or not.
You cannot ask. You cannot gamble with guessing how close is too close. You understand that we cannot afford for any of us to be wrong here. The worst that will happen is if I go, is I die, which is fine.
I don't want you to die.
I've got something that might be able to help. And I'm gonna reach into my bag. I'm gonna pull out the potion of wild magic.
Oh, great.
So this is the most dangerous thing that I have on me. And it is more magical than, it's about as magical as Odd is. Maybe you can
speak in my language.
Maybe you can use it as a lure? Like, throw it in one way, and then they'll all go crazy for it, and then you can go the other way and like check it out.
Like catnip?
It does mean they'll be able to sense how close you are. This thing packs a wallet.
He reaches out his hands to take it.
It's rainbow colored.
I like it. Can I have it?
I hand it to Rin and say, "That's up to him."
He's not gonna let me have it. Doesn't let me have anything good except the dart.
And that dress.
That's Celadine's. Technically, she's letting me have it.
It sure is.
Celadine.
Obviously.
And the shoes.
Yeah, but you made those for me.
Oh, I should give you something too. And I pull out. You can have one of my daggers.
Ah.
All right. Ikran, please make sure that both of them are safe.
I'll do everything I can.
He's gonna
Karse
run.
just looks up and says, given how much daylight is left, if you leave now and you hurry, you should reach Karse before nightfall.
Then I'll hurry.
I'm still holding onto his hand real quick, just for 1 second.
Okay.
I sort of put my hand on his face. Stay safe.
Yeah.
She's not gonna let you die yet.
I don't think she cares either way. And then he just
I do.
runs. Yeah, so he's doing this really dumb fucking mission right now.
I guess so. And he's the most proponent vocal voice against the mission, and yet he's doing it.
Because if he didn't, they would.
As if he didn't, they would.
If he didn't, I would.
Oh my goodness, Rin, you are such a wonderful character. And Rin walks off as the four of you huddle together in a crater of your own making.
And I'd like to turn to Odd and say, so let me tell you a thing or two about having magic in your soul.
And that's as good a place as any for us to bring this session to a close.
Oh no!
But the story's not over yet. Tune in next week at this time. That's 4:30 p.m. Pacific on Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday to see what happens next.
Are we gonna have
Our
a great
faithful
old
story. Is Gunther still alive?
Yeah.
Well, we know Adron wasn't. Adron did not survive, but he's back somehow.
Again.
Again. This is not the first time. Maybe, if there was hope for him, maybe there's hope for Gunther and Ondar. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But until then, keep good company.
Oh.
And yet, here we are. Somewhere else, in a dark cave, where no light shines, beneath the ground, under a bunch of rubble, there's a tunnel. A very old tunnel. I think built thousands of years ago. And there, in the rubble of this partially destroyed tunnel that has recently caved in under force from above, is a bunch of dead Shadar-Kai. And when very burnt and crispy, but still breathing, perfectly normal human being. You open your eyes.
Oh, Scheiße.
And that's actually where we're gonna call this session a close. Yes, definitely tune in this time next week on Wednesday. But before even that, tune in at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday for yet another Grey Wolf short, this time featuring Gunther.
What? You guys didn't think I was done?
Click the link that's going to appear in 2 seconds in that chat room to join our Discord. We'd love to talk to you about all this.
Woo!
Until next time, keep good company. Bye-bye. Bye.
Thanks, guys.